What's happening?
This is going to be a very cappy Christmas. So far, it's like what, December 3rd. We ain't not that far into December. It's turned out to be a great freaking Christmas month for me. I
Yeah.
found a Fairburn agate yesterday, some really good fossils. I found a fossil about the size of a bowling ball. Some of my friends sent me some Rooster Booster Light from Tejas. Um, and I got this awesome sweater at Walmart for 16 bucks. You got Snoopy on it, see?
That's awesome.
I know. It's pretty cool. It's very warm and cozy. I think it's fleece.
One
So,
of our mutual friends got me a new sweatshirt too. It's this YouTube guy I watch. He's pretty funny.
is it that Asian CPA that you like so much?
No, but if Brian Kim did start selling merchandise, I'm sure all these idiots around here
He'd
would
make
buy it.
millions of dollars. He'd make millions of dollars, and then he would sit there in his bed at night. It's like, yeah, I got all these millions of dollars, and I got all these big, titty redheads around me. But the real joy I find in life is I'm pissing off Chad Elkins. I think that's what he would be saying. He'd be enjoying that. The girl be, why are you paying attention to me? Shut up, bitch. I'm enjoying the misery of Chad Elkins. He'd have a good Christmas too.
Oh, there are so many people who make that their life's mission that it's a drop in the bucket at this point.
What, redheads or Brian Kim?
No, people trying to make my life miserable and piss me
Oh,
off.
how can that possibly be? You haven't had a busy season yet, right? You had a couple months off.
Oh yeah, no, things are fine now. I'm just saying throughout the course of a year, there's always someone, and I just got rid of a bunch of them.
Good. What's the goal? And heavily whittle it down to like 3 clients.
Yeah, I mean, you would be considered one half of one.
A half of one, because I am so maintenance free, solo maintenance.
Yes, you are always the first one to pay your estimated taxes. We do it early.
Yes,
well, you do it early.
I do it very early. I like to pay off the mafia as quickly and as soon as possible.
They are indeed the mafia.
Well, I've never understood. I understand people are lazy and stupid, or a combination of both, and they think that they'll never have to pay it. And if you vote for Biden and you majored in dumb crap, maybe you never will have to pay it back. But I've never. I like to be able to, for simple finance purposes, the first person you got to pay is the IRS and your state. If you're a sucker enough to live in a state that has state income tax. But after you get that out of the way, then it's like, okay, this is my real budget. This is what I got now. And so, you run into those gals with the hoo-ha showing on the internet, and they make the money, and they'd think, because, well, it's my money, because they never studied economics, but they don't think they got to pay. And then what ends up happening at the end of the year?
Well, they come crying to me and say, oh, what happened? And then we set them up with an S Corp, which is always hilarious, setting up these gals with that structure, because they don't even know anything about it.
Well, I barely knew anything about it. Is it because they're essentially strippers, and you're setting up these gals with a high-end profile kind of accounting service, basically?
They're not essentially strippers. They are strippers, either online or in real life.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So the reason you find it entertaining is you have what I would say in the before time was considered a low gutter level type of profession, but they got some kind of, blue ribbon type of accounting structure set. Is that why you like it? Or is it that they don't understand what an S Corp is?
I like it for a few reasons. I mean, they do what I say. Not everybody does that. They don't, interfere. They're not needy. They're just like, hey, Chad, what do I do here? And I go, oh, you want to do this, this, this. Okay. They're appreciative of the help. They pay on time, albeit in cash.
Really?
Yeah, they never. Anyway.
Well, wait, now hold it. I know this isn't the reason we have you on. How do they pay in cash? Because they're getting paid digitally, so it's, if anything, you'd want to pay in credit or some kind of check where there's a record, because they can write that off, correct?
So I'm referring to my local ladies who do more in-person type work and not online work.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So all they got is cash.
Yeah, or at least that's how they choose to pay their expenses and things, I assume, because they get a lot of it.
It's been years since I've been inside a strip club. I wonder if they got, aside from just the ATM, like, is there a way that you can pay a girl now, a stripper, with a credit card? Like, do they carry around the device?
Did you ever watch Family Guy?
Yeah, back when I was younger. Now I don't know. I haven't had time to watch it.
Oh, there's this really funny episode where Quagmire's at like a strip club or whatever, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm out of cash," and he whips out a credit card and he takes it and runs it through
Oh
the
yeah, down her
girls.
ass crack.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
good thing
yeah.
she takes cards." That's what that made me think of.
Well, I'm glad that you could. Oh, before I go, let me show you another cool thing I found. Do you know what this is? Even though it's crunched up, do you have any idea what that is?
Looks like a diaper.
No, look closely at it.
Looks like wrapping paper.
Kinda. I'll
Is
give
it
you
a
a hint. I found this way out in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska. Like this is one of the least populated areas I've ever been in. There's no one around. I found this out in an agate bed field, where I did find that agate in some of those amazing fossils. How did it get there? What does it look like?
I mean,
Go on the backside.
It looks Japanese. It looks like a candy wrapper or
No,
something.
what does it say? Do you see the little smiley faces? What's on there? Everybody else is getting this right now except you.
Well, it's a balloon or something.
A balloon.
Happy birthday.
It's a balloon. Happy birthday balloon. And the helium, it flew and it popped. And then this was stuck on a little piece of shrub. And the reason I thought that was interesting is somebody had a birthday, right? And it's the classical when you're like a little kid, you let go of it accidentally and it flew up and you never knew where it went. So I'd like to think that maybe there's like this little girl, little boy who lost their balloon. I just want to let them know that I found it. Although given how bleached out it is, this could darn well be 4 or 5 years old. But I just found it really interesting. Like your balloon, you've lost a helium balloon, right?
Yeah, it says Mylar balloon in the chat.
Right. Okay. But do you ever wonder where it goes? Like, where does it go? You know, and now I found it.
Goes up and eventually goes down.
And eventually goes down, but you never know where it lands. So I found this. I thought it was pretty cool because it's the first time I've found one. And I don't know. It's kind of like, yeah, I found it, kid. Your balloon. We recaptured a piece of your balloon.
But I would assume those things somehow ended up in the ocean, you know? Like no matter where you look.
75% chance they end up in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
They can fly for like hundreds of miles. I remember there was an article in Wisconsin and a little girl had tied a note. I think her dad passed away. She tied a note to a helium balloon saying, "I miss you, Dad, blah, blah, blah." And then someone in Michigan got it, flew all the way over Lake Michigan. And the lady got it and she found out who she was. She wrote a letter back saying, "I think your dad very, very much loves you, blah, 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 blah." It was very nice and heartwarming. I don't know. I just like when I was a kid, I lost a couple balloons and I thought, oh, where did they go? And now I found one. So it's not a fair burn agate, but it's pretty cool.
Glad you had a good day.
Hey, I've had a great day. I caught up on everything. The only thing I couldn't do was shoot my new gun yesterday. I didn't have time to do that because the sun sets at like 3 p.m. No, it's a good day. And I got my Rooster Booster light. So I'm good to
Wonder
go.
who sent you that.
I don't know. Somebody from the Confederacy. Probably one of them Confederates. That's surprising.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Do you want to bang out your consulting request or do you want to bang out these super chats real quick?
There's only 3 or 4 super chats. Let's get through those real quick.
Let's get through those quickly.
Fred for $5. If I had children, I'd want them to be just like Chad. I'd say Cappy, but Cappy lives in South Dakota and lacks a CPA and an MBA. You have an MBA.
No,
Vlad,
I don't.
I thought Carlson. Oh, no. Vlad, CPA, MBA, Chicago, winning. Well, I think we're both looking to get out of here, Fred. So I appreciate
I have a feeling you are in the minority. I think pretty much every mom out there would want to have Chad as a son. They do not want me as a son. If you give me a choice between me or Vlad, they're going to take Vlad Elkums.
Mrs. Elkins would love to have had you as a son.
Yeah, only because I bring balance. Between your dad, your sister, and you're all like super successful and straight and narrow and like you all did good. I'd be the troubled child, but I'd pull it off in the fourth quarter. And then, like, oh, he's still finding himself and like, oh, what does he do? He podcasts. So,
well, thing is, you have speaking of successful kids and everything, you have, in my opinion, a much better and more fun job than my sister and I.
It's true. But it was no fun getting here. I'll tell you that. It was no fun at all. But your mom absolutely does love me. It is true. She does love me. Yep.
SJ for $2 Canadian. Ditching Cappy over Christmas for a date. Awful.
Love Peach Wave.
I think that peach represents
Oh, the thing, the fun box.
yes, box. Yeah.
Oh, are you
Not sure where that's coming from. I don't know
that
what he
wave?
means by
Okay,
that.
yeah, neither do I. Him and Mexi Mike seem to take the same class on how to write super chats. There must be a seminar somewhere.
Long story short, for $5, most of the girls paying the house, or do they have a house paying them? I think he's talking about my strippers, maybe.
Yeah, how does that work? Don't I think they just get their tips, right?
Yeah, from what I understand, they get tips. It's not really pooled. It's, each one gets their own tips.
Right.
But when they issue the 1099s or whatever, they kind of do a true up or an estimate of some kind. I'm always astounded when they actually issue these 1099s because it's like, how the hell did they track all that?
They
So
don't.
yeah, they're making assumptions, I think.
It's like when I was younger and I first started doing my own taxes, I thought like I was not a pro. And then in hindsight, I realized just how meticulous I am compared to like what regularly goes on. Where, oh yeah, write this off, yeah. And I'm like, there may be a quite like, that's not deductible, but I got the receipt for it. I'll tell you that I got the receipt. But a lot of these people, they just estimate it and ballpark it.
I mean, that's the only way you can do it sometimes.
Yeah.
Fred for $2. Vlad, should I move to Woke Park or Ohio? I mean, Oak Park has, where Oak Park is? It's in the suburbs of Chicago.
Is that a nice suburb or nice part of Chicago or no?
It's okay. It's not bad. It's a little bit somewhat closer to the city, so anytime you're getting that, the crime element can go up a little bit.
All right.
Ohio, I don't know why you'd want to move to Ohio. I've only been there a couple times.
I told him before he's kicking around. So he must have a job offer in Ohio. And I told him, look, Ohio is like the fat chick with herpes. Okay. It sucks. And you got a local income tax. So no, Fred, don't go. You might as well stay in Oak Park because then at least you get to like go to Chicago. And for its drawbacks, there are some cool cultural things, benefits of a major metro city. I think it's the best major metro city in the United States. I mean, certainly
really?
beats LA, New York, San Francisco. What is its competitor? I mean, this is not a competition you want to be in. The best big city in the United States, they all suck. But like Chicago is the least sucky out of all of them, I'd say.
I mean, I agree in the sense that it's way better than New York, San Francisco, DC, right, and all that. But man, there's got to be a city with better weather than this, that would.
Yeah.
It's
Phoenix, Dallas, Chattanooga, Miami, St. Petersburg, Atlanta. How many places? Charleston.
Charleston.
You don't like them Confederates because they're for slavery, but they got some nice warmer weather down there. I'm just pointing that out.
I like Georgia. Dre for $5. Vlad is here. His future wife still lets him talk to Cappy. Are you going to invite Clear Value Tax to the wedding? Vlad's pot rack story is coming soon.
I'm thankful that you took time out of your busy schedule now that you've found true love and you've abandoned me and Atham, and him and I just pitifully text each other now, and that you decided to take some time this afternoon. We appreciate it. But
so I was telling Atham I can only handle one plate, not like 4 or 5 or 6.
They're not wrong. It's fun to have multiple plates, and if you have good plate management skills, I should come up with a seminar on that. Just kidding, I won't do that. If you're good at time management and you keep them all at bay, it's doable. But I don't know, as you get older, it's just kind of like, dude, I think one at a time is like, yeah, okay.
Like one takes enough energy.
One takes enough energy. Yep.
Dre again. Yeah, for $2. How does Cappy find himself? Microscope.
You dick.
Yeah, keep those coming.
He does. He's got a book somewhere. He just sits there waiting for this to happen. Like how Brian Kim waits to irk you and piss you off. He's like, I'm going to get that Chad Elkins. That's Dre. He's like, I can't wait for Cappy. I got some new jokes for him. So he's not even studying his computer science degree.
I've actually softened a little bit on Brian Kim because I had a few people seek my assistance for tax prep.
Right.
And they explained, like has happened so many times, it's like, yeah, he just ditched us. You know, he started a YouTube channel. He didn't give us a referral. He ignored our emails. He just ditched us.
Yeah.
And so when I had a few back and forths with some of these clients, it became clear that they were needy, annoying, and downright hostile. So actually, Brian, maybe he did that the right way. He just
The reason I'm so entertained by it is I find it very interesting how you're so perturbed by this, and like he got under your skin somehow, and I'm like, he's just a nerdy CPA guy talking accounting.
had I never met him in person, honestly, I wouldn't have
Oh,
even cared. Yeah,
okay,
it was
all right.
just, meeting in person. You just got to meet him and you'll
Should
ask
we?
yourself, what?
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. I have an idea.
This is kind of mean. And to be fair, I haven't seen him in over like 2.5 years. You meet him in person. He's just so awkward and dry and boring.
Really, a
But I guess that
CPA,
works.
awkward and dry and boring. No
Imagine
kidding.
my surprise.
You know what's funny? He probably, instead of I'm going to get that Chad Elkins, maybe he's your biggest silent fan and you're just destroying his heart right now. Maybe that's it. He looks up to you because you have your MBA. Yeah, I don't know. Does he have his MBA or?
Oh, he probably does.
He probably does. All
He
right.
doesn't need one. But no, I actually don't mind Brian anymore just because, like, I don't know. In a way, I kind of respect it. He had too many people that were pissing him off and he just sort of ghosted.
Dude, if you had he's got millions of subscribers. Is he that big?
He was up to almost 1 million last time. Let's see.
Okay.
Clear value tax.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, you get to 1 million subscribers, you're pretty much a millionaire by that time.
Oh yeah.
And you would pretty much abandon whatever else. Like, what's his name? Matt Tran did that. He ended up starting a shoe company over in Vietnam, or the factory's in Vietnam anyway. He lives in the Philippines. I could see it where you get big enough, all of a sudden somebody wants to pull you off and say, I got a project for you. I'm like, nah, I'm happy doing my podcasting thing. No, I'll pay you multiple millions of dollars. Like, oh yeah, I'll abandon whatever career profession I had. I'll just do the podcasting thing for you now. Yeah.
He has 1.37 million subscribers.
Yeah. It's not even worth his time to email people. He probably is. Yeah. He's probably out of curiosity. Now, on one hand, I don't hate the guy. I actually kind of like, that was a pretty good video he did. How do you get 1.3 million subscribers? Because he's not that exciting either.
And that's really been the crux of my, confusion. And it used to be frustration, but now I'm just like, whatever. But yeah, I just could not figure out the appeal. I still can't.
There's a lot of people. Everyone needs an accountant. That's why I think you should do the Elkins hour. Fire that up yourself. Just take some accounting questions and tax questions. You'd be surprised where that leads. Everyone throws their money at you. Everybody likes you. I mean, I get you laid internationally. Even the girls like you, for God's sake. So you even got the Mexicans liking you, for God. I think if you just did like yeah, I don't know. It's just, but if you did once a week, I'd help you out if you wanted to get some, but just do something. Cause let's say this, you're more charismatic, which isn't a high hurdle, than Brian Kim.
Yes, but that's because I always have somebody else there in the stream with me. If it was just me, like, bloviating, I don't think I would be very entertaining.
Maybe if you were the high accountant.
Ooh.
Then you get all loopy and everything. Well, see, then the problem is you get bad advice and people come back and sue you.
Exactly. Plus, that type of activity is really more of a, like, don't get online and do stuff activity.
Right. All right, handle bacon here.
Bacon 243. Those are some sweet goodies, boys.
Goodies? Our sweatshirts?
Maybe.
Hoodies. I bet you meant to say hoodies.
That's hoodies. Okay.
Hoodies.
All right.
Yes.
Who's next? Atham.
Yeah. Now, what is it? What is it? I can't see it. No.
So it is not Mexican poops. It is not a teddy bear. It's this hungry hippo chomping, and it has 1-up below it. So it's like a video game.
Yeah, it's getting an extra life. Sure.
Yeah, that's a good one. Corey for $4.99. I think you would enjoy the subreddit anti-work. Did you ever go on Reddit?
I used to back in the before time. But to be honest, they became so restrictive and each subreddit itself has its own management. So if you wanted to post something like, I'd spend my time and efforts composing a really good article or something like that. And then I try and post, oh, no, you got to subscribe. Oh, no, this goes against our terms. Oh, no, you got to add flair. It's like, look, if I wanted to get married, I would. Okay. But I don't want to get married. And I certainly am not going to have a nagging wife relationship with the social media platform. It's like, you don't play video games, right? Video game consoles, you know, okay.
Yeah.
Don't even bother getting back into it unless you're going to play like PC or maybe Nintendo. But it's the same thing. I have an Xbox One. I've had one for about a year and a half now. I just played one game to play with a buddy of mine. So I bought some other games. I found them for dirt cheap, like Battlefield 5. I got it for $6. I'm like, well, this was a flagship game. And I got Battlefield Hardline and a couple other. I'm like, why are they so cheap? So I actually thought the guy who saw it's a used place downtown Rapid City, I thought maybe they were hot and he was just selling them on the cheap. Well, then I tried to play one and I realized what happened. The modern platforms are horrible. I have literally spent more time downloading, setting up usernames and accounts. You cannot just put the game in and play. The freaking thing took 14 hours to download. So I have the game. I got the disc. You put it in. It takes 14 hours to download. Mm-hmm. Then you want to play. You got to set up an EA account. I just want to play the campaign. I don't want to play online. Nope. Too bad. We can't have you play the game. Oh, you need all these other updates. And it's kind of the same thing with subreddit and where a lot of these social media platforms are going. Let me ask you this. Have you ever tried to tweet something out or put something on Facebook and then the nanny Nazi machine comes in and says, oh, are you sure you want to tweet that? Are you because you put, a curse word in there or something?
I don't usually tweet that much or even put some on Facebook, but that's never happened to me.
Okay. It's happened to me here and there. It's like, did you really want to do this? And it's like, look, I know in an effort for diversity and equality in terms of opportunity. Okay. We want to get more women into management positions, but you are bringing in with that an inherent female psychology and thus bias. And now this is starting to spill out where we can't have locker room talk. I can't post something without some censor coming. Are you sure you want to do it? You sure you want to do it? Saying, and it's not even political. It's biological. Cars are starting to have all these bells and whistles nobody asked for. And just like with it's the same thing. Well, we need this. You need to have flair. You need, it's like, God, geez, dude. You remember, give you another example, Office Space?
Oh, yeah. It was one of my favorite movies.
Jennifer Aniston, she's over at Bennigan's.
Yeah.
And the guys... Or Shenanigans or whatever it was
called. Yeah.
Right. It was a spoof on Bennigan's, which I don't think exists anymore. So the boss, who was actually Judd, the guy who was directing it, he's like, are you sure that's the right amount of numbers of flair you want to wear? And she's like, well, how many do you want me to wear? Well, I don't know. It's up to you. It's like, dude, just knock it off with all these requirements. And you have to have it notified as a subreddit and you got to get approved. It's like, no. So that's why I abandoned Reddit, because it's like, look, man, I just want to post something. And I know, and then was it Reddit? No, there was, it was like when OnlyFans decided they weren't going to do porn no more.
And quickly reversed it.
But there was a Tumblr. That was it. Tumblr, which was explicitly known for porn, said no more porn. I think it is. Who knows? People stopped going there because they got, and it's like, look, I know women are deep down inside in their genetics. They're all a bunch of little Stalins and they want to control everything. But could you lay off and just let us do our thing? Can we just have a subreddit for whatever it is? Or if I want to post a funny haha and I have a curse word in there, can you not say, oh, we fact check this? Because like, hey, lady, go the F away. But no, so that's the influence. Now that's starting to bear out. So that's the same thing. That's my long way to say, no, I don't use Reddit anymore.
The only reason I use it and I barely post on there is because there's actually a collection of us, like CPAs with our own solo practices and other practices. It's actually very good to interact with those guys. Like we talk about our guys and girls, we talk about our challenges and, how to get rid of bad clients. So it's been very useful for me, but beyond that, I don't really look at anything else.
Do you ever post to that subreddit or no?
Very rarely. Sometimes I offer a little bit of advice. I'm like, well, this is what I would do in that situation, but I'm kind of a lurker.
All right,
Mostly.
but they don't make you attach a flag or subscribe or any other. You could just post, huh?
Yeah, because we're not talking about anything like, unwoke. We're just like, well, here's how I would do this, here's how I would do that. So
Right. Okay,
yeah,
it's the subredditors that are doing
it is.
that.
It's gotta be. Samuel Talk for $2. You have a favorite 22 caliber handgun and rifle? I think he's talking to you.
Me, no. I just bought my first 22 4 days ago. And the reason for that was practice and a hunt varmint in case there's an apocalypse, because 22 ammo was a lot cheaper, and you're not always going to have a deer or large game around. But man, there's a ton of rabbits and turkeys and things. I do not have a handgun. What I got was a kind of an AR-15 platform for a 22. I don't know what it's called if it's a 22, but I like it because, well, one, I know I disassemble it because they're all kind of universal. The other thing is it's got a rail on it, so I could put different scopes and all that if I need to. It's pretty simple.
Cool.
But yeah, that's I don't have a favorite one though. I got the only one. That's why.
Next time we hang, we can go shooting or caving.
Look who's here.
Hey, Doc. He was on a little bit earlier today when I was doing some work. He's had some streams lately, so we were
cool
watching that. Yeah. A long story short, for $5, do you have any clients that are eBay third-party sellers? I have trouble estimating my inventory at year's end and get nervous about being audited. First of all, don't be too nervous about being audited in case you're like, at least six figures in gross income. So don't worry that much. I don't have any more clients like this. Basically, you listed one of the reasons. Like, they just couldn't keep track of their bookkeeping. Even when I showed them how to track inventory, match the cost of goods sold, it just got to be too frustrating. So I don't work with any third-party sellers like eBay or anything like that.
I'm kind of confused. Why would your year-end inventory matter if you're backing out cost of goods sold? Like, what does the IRS care about your balance sheet?
Well,
at the end of the year.
We're kind of talking about the same thing. The IRS doesn't care about your balance sheet,
Right.
but it's very important to get an accurate number for cost of goods sold. It's like the most important thing. And it's not really that hard. You just have to match up inventory for what was bought and sold. It's not like hundreds of transactions, but I just could never get people to track it well enough for me. Somehow it was confusing.
You get your cost per unit. How many units did I sell? Add it up. There's your cost of goods sold. That's it.
It just got too the money. It's not worth my while. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about you. A long story short, just the ones that I've had to deal with out here. Usually artists whose work wasn't very good and they were trying to sell it, on Amazon and eBay.
Just for all you artists and musicians out there, the IRS ain't going to audit you because you didn't make no money. Okay,
right?
You need to make money for the IRS to audit you. Okay. And since none of you make money because you're lazy, you're talentless, you don't show up, and you don't do work on time, you didn't make any, like, you're so lazy, you don't understand how taxes work, So
why don't you get a real job? That's what I feel like telling him, but I won't because I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy.
I still think you should just start being a bad, mean accountant.
But I mean, a long story short, like, all you got to do is just try to like match, your inventory with what gets sold. It's not too difficult. So just keep lists.
Right. And then, well, hey, now I heard on the Dick show, this could be wrong. They hired like, surprise, it could be wrong. So he said they're hiring 87,000 new IRS agents. I'm like, that doesn't seem likely.
They're not. They're saying they're going to do it, but they're not, because frankly, there's not a lot of people that actually want to work for them, nor are they qualified to work for them. Well, they want people like me to work for them, and we ain't going to do it.
Well, see, and that's what I was thinking. Like, okay, was this going to be over 4 years? Maybe they hire 87,000. You couldn't possibly hire that many in 1 year.
No.
Okay.
I don't think they can do it ever, frankly.
Well, I mean, over 10 years, 8,700 a year. I'm like, okay, I could see you build up to that. But then the other thing, the question I had was one that you said, like, you can't just walk in and be an IRS agent. You got to have like at least a bachelor's in accounting, a couple years experience. You got to know how to do a little bit of audit. Yes. You can't just go in. I mean, fresh. So I'm like, and how many accountants are there in the nation?
It's a good question. There's less tax accountants now because all the old timers, the boomers, are just, we've had it, we're out because of all these changes in the last few years.
Okay, so 1.4 million accountants. All right, so is tax accountant the specific? How many?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, there's less tax accountants than non-tax accountants. So I'm curious about that too.
Okay, so there's 1.2 million tax preparers. But okay, here we are. Okay, right here. Okay, so this is when they say preparers, that means the schmuck at H&R Block.
Yes.
There are 494,000 tax accountants currently employed in the U.S. So you're going to basically take a sixth. Like, you need 1 in every 6 of those guys and gals to quit their daytime job and say, yeah, I want to work for the IRS. And I'm another question I guess I would have. It doesn't sound like fun accounting working for the IRS. Like, yeah.
Nobody, this is going to sound mean. I don't mean it. Like, the only people who are going to take that job are the ones that's really the best they can do. Otherwise, they would be doing, real tax work and actually making money and, actually providing some good instead of trying to, play cop, with a magnifying glass. Oh, I got you. I got you. Nobody wants that.
Well, and then here's another thing. Like, if you're going to go work for the government, it seems to me, well, I want to work with the children and a nonprofit and help explore art and help the underprivileged. No one says, I want to work at the IRS and look at income statements. Like, nobody. Not the leftists, nobody wants to do that. So
now I earlier in my career, I worked for the U.S. Tax Court, some engagements with the IRS and the U.S. Department of Justice Tax Division. That's because I knew that I eventually wanted to do this. Like, I didn't say like, oh, I want to make a career out of that. Because working for the government sucks. I'm sure you knew that.
Well, the irony is everyone says, I hate working for the government. Why? I don't do anything. And it's like, well, go somewhere else. No, I can't. The benefits are too good. Well, then shut up. just shut up.
If you have any ambition, you can't work for the IRS. Yeah. I won't say the government as a whole, but the IRS. If you have ambition, you can't.
Aren't there some, okay, now maybe I'm, because I've never peered behind the curtain. Aren't there some like Elliot Ness, like movie heroic IRS agents who like bring down the bad guys? Like, aren't there some really top cops, or is it just people who are just bored? I mean, there's no like superhero IRS agent that oh, he got Capone, although that was quite some time ago. But there's not like, oh yeah, Frankie Frankenson, he's sharp. He's got he took down that guy who was laundering money overseas or something. Or is it just
the closest you'll have to that is my former colleagues and myself, because we took down Wesley Snipes, but beyond that, nobody gives a shit.
I don't know if anyone cares if you took down Wesley Snipes either. Yeah.
I just wanted it for the resume builder,
I think Wesley Snipes is trying to lower his tax, but if you brought down a terrorist organization or something like that, that might be cool. Or but all right, so it is what I thought. There's no way they're going to find 87,000 people, and certainly not within this year.
Here's the people that would take a job like that, just real quick. Ones who've been doing what I've been doing, for years and years, and they're just getting tired and they're tired of BS. So if you're in your like maybe 50s or 60s and you want to have a solid benefits before you retire and things like that, maybe it's worth your while. But I mean, God, I just can't imagine making a career like that.
Okay. All right. That's what I thought. So, all right. Fred here again. He's reporting from
Fred for $2. Bumble is 70% single moms in Western Ohio. They vote Republican at least.
It's Fred. Don't no. Fred, you're good looking. You're tall. You make a lot of money. No. Just no, you can have fun with them, but you're not raising another man's kid. I don't care. You go do what you want, Fred. Here's this book called The Book of Numbers. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. You ever listen to Better Bachelor?
Sure.
Yeah, Better Bachelor edition. Joker wrote the intro to this edition. But no, Fred, I go do what you want. I don't care.
Fred has texted me some of the women he's either used to date or he's gone out with, and the vast majority are pretty good looking.
And they're not single moms.
Right.
Yeah. Fred, what's wrong with you? I want to go to Ohio and date single mom. What happened?
I think he's just trying to get out of here, maybe. But he'll provide us with an update below here, I'm sure.
Well,
Dre for $2. The irony of Cappy wearing a sweater with Snoopy. But see, I can see what's behind your right shoulder.
Snoopy. Oh,
the other way. Yeah, Snoopy.
Yeah, and Toby the dog. I do like dogs.
Yeah. Yes.
See, unlike everyone who critiques me for disciplining a dog, I love the dogs more than most people love their dogs because most people don't discipline their dogs. They're okay if their dog poops and craps in the house. All right. I do care, and I do care about the dog. That's why I take, unlike all you who rescue dogs and you force them to live in a prison in a 1-bedroom apartment in New York City, I take dogs out for walks. I take out and we play fetch. I take out dogs for hikes.
Good stuff. But you'd never get a dog.
I would never get a dog. No dogs, no kids. Too much responsibility. Because I love the dog enough. You can't just let the dog sit there for 8 hours a day while you go work. No way. Absolutely not.
Chris is black. Tornado chaser. Vlad's Mary Jane reviews. I'd buy that course. All right. Sure. I occasionally share my thoughts and opinions on certain strains on Reddit. I don't do that very frequently, but it does happen. The Black channel for $10. Thank you.
It's a very dark channel. It's pretty dark. Just give you a heads up.
Are you making a joke or serious?
Yeah, the Black channel. Now, I don't know. It could be actually the literal color of the Black channel. Like, oh, that's kind of mysterious, kind of Twilight Zone. Or it could be about black people, in which case the pun works both ways. It's very dark.
That's why I had to ask.
Yeah.
For $10, off topic. Schools often take people's creativity away during youth, and many wonder how to get it back when you're an adult to have a fulfilled life. Any ideas? I know you're not very artsy.
I have no idea because here in the Black channel, he's absolutely correct, or maybe she's absolutely correct. When you by about the 3rd or 4th grade, if you have the slightest bit of intelligence about you, you are completely demoralized about your prospects of going to school. And what I'd like to do is go back and kind of replay my life a little bit, because I wonder, did my parents and teachers tell me intelligent things at the time? Well, no, but here's what I'm wondering, like, and for me, it was earlier. Like by the 2nd day of kindergarten, I was tuned out because I'm like, this sucks. Oh my God, I got 13 years of this crap. And certainly by the 3rd grade, I wasn't paying any more attention. But if you lose those kids, and I've had like a Glorious Carl and another buddy of mine, they said the same thing. You got 5 years with your children. If you don't invest in them and make sure they're dialed in by the age of 5, you've lost them forever. I wonder if it's the same thing with teachers as well. Like if you just bore the ever-living snot out of kids because you're a low IQ teacher, which most of you are, and you don't do it for the children and you mail it in, you're basically putting these kids through a mental torture, and certainly the intelligent ones. So by the time the kid's 7 or 8, they're not listening to you anymore. They're just trying to get through that. They probably go if their brain shuts down to a state of ketosis or coma or whatever, like an impulse power operating level. And so you could tell them all the intelligent things in the world, like don't major in this, do this, you got it, but because you've basically either lied to them or failed to make anything you've said germane or relevant or important in their minds, that it's in one ear out the other. And so I wonder about that. Like, you know, was I told the right things in middle school and high school? You know, I don't think so, because it would have stood. No one grabbed me and said, listen, you got to major in the right thing. You got to do this. All I got was you got to go to college. You repeat that enough, then you zone out. But the only thing I do remember is my stepdad saying, you might want to consider joining the military. And my stepdad also said, you'd be good on television. And I dismissed him on both. I'm like, yeah, television like that. And here we are kind of in a modern day incarnation. But yes, how to get it back though, you got to like spend a lot of time having fun and just doing what you want to do and get experience, and then just practice and hack away at it. But I don't know. That's part of your being, is going through that 13-year prison sentence, which you can't undo. I mean, it's almost like, well, I lost my left arm. How do I get it back? It's like, you don't go back in the time machine and prevent yourself from going through, tell someone who went through a concentration camp, like, how do I get over going through a concentration camp? Like, you don't, like, you did it. I mean, you could treat it, but it happened. And so I don't know. I'm really artsy though. I did put together a Mod Podge of on lamps, and I did cigars, Blue Label cigars. So I finished that one just now, and then I started doing Red Label cigars. But I don't know, it's not particularly artistic. It's just gluing stuff onto a lampshade.
How could we ever, and I mean ever, forget the silver dollar bikini?
Well, that was pretty intelligent. That was more of an engineering feat than you think. I got a bikini with something this big to cover every girl's hoo-ha and something that big to cover all their nipples. And then I got it to fit like 99% of the female population. It was adjustable. It was movable. That is quite a design achievement. Because I don't know if you knew this, women are different, and they got bigger boobs. Some got smaller boobs. Some boobs go down here. Some are pointy and perky. So the boob to the hoo-ha distance varies every girl. There's lots of variables, but I got it to work.
I was impressed with
it. I was too. That was a little fun moment, and it was profitable. It just wasn't profitable enough.
The Black Channel for $2. What is woke?
What is woke? Anything that's a lie. Anytime people take value in the traits they were born with, or they just merely claim to have, and play to that, or companies or other institutions within society go up to you and say, oh my God, you're so brave and amazing because you are a X. And X can be anything: mentally disabled, not straight, male, female, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. And instead of speaking to your being, who you are, oh, you're a plumber. Well, we at Bob's Wrenches, we got the greatest plumbing wrenches in this side of the Mississippi. Go to Bob. Well, that actually help you out. But you're Hispanic. Oh, we just love Hispanic plumbers here at Bob's Wrenches. Come here. Well, your wrenches are shit. Oh no, but we love Hispanic plumbers. It's a dishonesty is what it really is. And they're duping you and like, oh, you were born X. Well, come here because we don't like those Y people that are oppressing you. And then anyone who and here's, you understand, Black Channel, how disgusting these people are. On the consumer side, that's the producer side, the selling side, the marketing. Look, we're wearing pink gloves for breast cancer at the NFL. Okay, see why you follow me? That's the producer side. The consumer side is people who have traits. Well, we all got traits. That's not saying anything. People who have nothing in their lives but their traits. Like, they don't work. They're not a great plumber. They're not a CPA. They're not a mom. They're not a dad. They're just freaking nobodies. And they're like, I'm whatever, gay or trans or black or female, or this is where you is. I'm Muslim. I'm Jewish. I'm born again. I'm a feminist, an environmentalist. I have organic coffee. I mean,
I gotta tell you, I still get people occasionally. They'll email me for tax help. They'll find me and they'll be like, hello, I am a 26-year-old, gender positive. They start listing all this stuff. And I'm just
people put their pronouns up, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I don't care, dude. You got green money? What the hell? I don't care who you are, who you view yourself to be, or what genitalia you like to lick. Do you got money? You do? Come on in. And so it's people that are, and here's where ultimately woke people are evil. This is a tell. This is a big red flag. It's because they're lazy and they don't want to do anything in their lives. And they have no core. None. There's no personality. There's no production. And all they want to do is get paid because of how they were born or how they claim to be. They don't want to go and actually work or do something. And by work, I don't mean like actually make money, though that too. But like, be a mom. Yeah, I raised my kids. I made sure that they went to the A, B, and C's and the D's, and I taught them chores and stuff. Like, I'm a good father. I work out, I fight so I can protect my family, and I invest in my children. There's things outside of you that you do for benefit of the rest of society, albeit for profit as well. But you have a trade. But woke people, they have no value, no core, except for traits that are born with because they're too effing lazy to go and actually build value for the rest of society by producing something society wants. So that's woke, I guess, in as best we could describe it.
Yeah. Okay, so after that, okay, there, Fred, right? Yeah. Fred.
Is it?
Fred for $2. Do Big Four firms only hire hot women for entry level? On the audit side, yes. On the tax side, no.
Okay, hang on. Give me 1 second. Let me be back. Hang on.
Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from
had to turn off my
Ipanema goes. Okay.
Turn off my space heater. All right, so why is it audit yes, but taxes no?
There's actually a lot more well, first of all, a lot more women seem to be more partial to audit compared to tax.
Finding people's mistakes, women? No way. Finding flaws within other people, women are prone to that.
Well, this is strategic because if you have one of the things I've talked about this, one of the reasons why I always wanted to get into tax instead of audit, because nobody wants to see an auditor come. People hate auditors. You're there to ruin somebody's day, essentially. That's not the case in tax. So the Big Four knows this. They know how competitive it is. So yes, they hire really hot gals just out of undergrad accounting majors because it'll be, as long as they're competent, it makes it a lot easier for them to do their audits.
Okay, because people are not as apprehensive and maybe a bit more helpful and like, okay, we'll comply. Okay, not as it. Okay, I could see that. Okay.
Whereas tax, it's less important because there's less client interaction. So
yeah, you're just going over the numbers. All
right. Dre for $2. Does Cappy holding a minigun make it just a gun?
Wow. See, he sits awake at night. He's got nothing else going on. That's all he's got. He just looks at his big, beautifully massive black penis. And he says, well, Dre, why don't you go into writing? Okay. So skip this computer science stuff. Why don't you just go into writing and start penning some books or something like that? You obviously have the creative streak going on. Why don't you go ahead and do that?
I love it when he does this because he's making fun of you and I get $1 of it. So it's, win-win.
It's always fun when somebody else takes the hit.
Yep. Michael M for $3. Does Chad have his own YouTube channel? So I do have my own channel and I have 42 subscribers, but I've never put out a single video. So whatever.
You know what? Have you seen there's a video, and eventually we'll get to the client's question. There's a video or a show. I think it's on Netflix, and it's two British people. One's a father, the other's a son, and they travel the world. Have you seen this or heard about it? Okay. Basically, it's how the two interact with one another. The son is more creative and artsy and fartsy, and the father is very serious and disciplined about culture and a proper British gentleman. And so they kind of play off of each other. A lot of it's scripted. By the way, I didn't mean to ruin that for all you people. It's totally scripted. That shit would not happen regularly. But it's a cute show. You and your dad, see, like if you need a co-host, your old man would make great television. Yeah, exactly. The reason you think he wouldn't is exactly he would. And we know somebody who's a fan of your dad. He would come in there like, what the heck's going on? What is this thing? I don't understand. Like, Dad, this is how it works. Did you like The Last Crusade?
Yeah.
What's that movie about?
You mean you're talking about the Indiana Jones?
Indiana Jones, right? Last Crusade. What's it about?
It's about Harrison Ford and Sean Connery, father, son, and they kind of that something happens to the father, even though they were estranged, and he goes and looks for him, and they find each other, and they sort of become rekindled and closer.
They bond again. Right. All right.
Yeah.
And you're right. That's what it's about. It's not about finding the Holy Grail. That's the vehicle by which the largest story is told.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It is also, as that happens, is introducing his father into his life. Like, because Indiana Jones got this crazy life that's going on, and very few people understand it. Maybe Salah, his buddy Salah, the Egyptian guy.
Oh, yeah.
He maybe understands it. Right. Okay. But he has to drag his dad along with, and then his dad kind of comes along, but then has a newfound respect for his son. Not that your father doesn't respect. I bet you your dad is so proud of you. He's prouder than Punch. But if you had him on the show, you could see that story transgress. I was like, yeah, Dad, we got to do it this way. And we go on and do that. Well, I don't understand. It'd be classic. It'd be great. And then he's the old wiser CPA. He could tell you other stuff. It'd be a great accounting hour. It'd be great.
He does not like to do things like this. Now I'll talk to him about it again over Christmas.
Okay. Well, if he doesn't want, okay. If he doesn't want to, all right.
Not in his personality. Yeah.
Right.
It's a good idea, though. You would get interest for it.
Yeah.
Dre.
Oh wait, did I? Oh,
No,
hang on.
Dre.
What Dre? Hang on. What? Do you have a book of short jokes there, Dre? Did you go to the library or something?
I'm loving it. Even though I am short-ish too, I like this.
Yeah, you know, I hope he's getting his money's worth. I hope
Why
he's
can't
getting
Cappy dream big? He's not tall enough. Okay. Boom, boom. A long story short, for $5, Cap. For example, if you buy an abandoned storage locker, it is hard to allocate costs to individual items. I mean, yeah, but you have to use what's called the fair market value method, which is essentially what you have to estimate what you could sell it for on the open market.
So,
Again, you don't have to worry about this. You're not going to get audited, but I mean,
oh yeah, I see what he's saying. If you abandon storage locker, it is hard to allocate cost to individual items, right? But then you would say, okay, let's pay. You paid $1,000 for a storage locker, right?
yeah.
And there's like 40 items you're going to list on eBay. So for each item, it's what 2.5% you allocate the expense to. See what I'm saying?
So that's one way of doing it. You're supposed to that like you can use formulas like that. But I mean, if the items are drastically different from each other, you got a $200 bicycle and a $3, electric razor or something.
Couldn't okay? Let me ask you this: could he not expense it as operating expense, and then he doesn't have any cost of goods sold? Because so let's say, I don't know if this is his business, but let's say his business is going, he's the locker store. He goes and buys abandoned lockers, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if he just called that expense like operating expense or locker expense, whatever? It's immediately cashed, it's expensed. So he has larger expenses up front, and then as he sells, there is no cost of goods sold to counter against it, just future expenses as he acquires future lockers.
So you can't do that because when you're dealing with, fixed asset real items, you have to capitalize them. That's the problem.
Okay.
MCI WorldCom and all these people use scams like this, capitalizing or not capitalizing things and creating expenses for them. I mean, that's how you get shut down. But again, I don't think we're talking major money here. So
it is just so much easier to expense it if you're willing to pay the taxes on the future income.
Yeah.
But I know that doesn't follow GAAP accounting rules. But
And again, the IRS really doesn't care unless this is big money. So just do the best you can and explain it, document it. DJ Aftershock for $2. Remember big old bad scary Bruce Rauner, Chad? Yeah, he was the former governor of Illinois, and he was still way better than the fat loser we have now.
You got a trust fund baby over there, I hear.
I hate that guy worse than Beetlejuice, who's our mayor.
It's hard to respect anyone who doesn't earn their way through life. It really is.
Really is. Fred for $2. I accepted the job offer in Chicago earlier today. Well, congratulations. I don't think you would have liked Ohio, but I haven't spent much time there. So, yeah.
I know Milfy Cougar out in Ohio.
I think I know the same one.
I think you know the same one because I may have tried to set you up with her. Yes.
Yes. A long time ago.
A while ago. Yes.
Yeah. Eric Burns Marsh for $5. Don't work from the IRS or any other Fed agency. Since it pays less than $660K, you get treated. You mean $60K? You get treated worse than a slave. I mean, working for the government. There's some people that just kind of want to go through the motions, collect a paycheck, and never get fired. That's what working for the government is for. I can't live like that. I don't think you can live like that. And most of the people I know actually can't.
Eric, if you haven't read Curse of the High IQ, go get it. I mean, we're kind of a weird group that tune into this show. Most people here want to live their life and can't stand tedium.
Yeah.
And so, I wouldn't even say it's ethical or a moral issue. Like, I'm not giving the taxpayer a bang for their buck. It's like, this is boring. I got to go do something else.
Plus, they'd force you to get the jab now if you work for the feds, in case that's a factor. Colin K for $5. One IRS badass, Gary Alford, IRS agent who brought down the black market site Silk Road. Oh, was that him? I knew that that was part of it. I thought maybe that was an FBI operation, but yeah, maybe this IRS agent.
Sure, he was working with the FBI. Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm sure in the history of the IRS, there's got to be some, Agent Johnson brought down bad guy Smith, and Oh wait, this guy had a question about the $600 thing.
Brian Dupree.
Oh, Brian Dupree. Sorry, it is. Never mind. There we go.
Hold on, did we miss something?
No, I screwed it up. We're on Brian. Yeah.
Okay, Brian Dupree for $5. A lot of cannabis growers and tradesmen I know are concerned about the new IRS rumblings. Can they really check all $600 transactions? No. That's never going to go through. There's no way that the banks are going to play ball with that. They don't want to. Their customers don't want to. And even more than that, the IRS does not come close to having the resources to even audit that type of material.
And the weight now, in all honesty as well, too, with Trump inflation, and that's where most of it came from, by the way, if you want to look at the numbers.
Inflation.
It's Trump. Okay, I'm an economist. I looked at the data. Go look at the M1 money supply or the M2 money supply, whichever one you want to look at. Under Trump, that's where now Biden ain't helping either. He's adding even more. All right, but both these presidents combined, soon $600 ain't going to mean anything.
Right.
It really is like I sent out $20 to all the nieces and the nephews. I'm like, dang, this is like $5 back in the day,
Yeah.
Subway, it's a $9 foot long sub. I remember $5 foot long subs.
Like grocery shopping, was that yesterday or today? That was yesterday. I mean, I'm an accountant. I notice when things have gone up in price. Practically everything has.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's quite a bit. Christopher Anon for $5. Some of the top private industry tax consultants are former top IRS bureaucrats because we know how to win against them. We know all their secrets. We know what they're capable of, and we know how dumb most of the people there really are. I'm sorry, but it's true. DJ Aftershock, $2. In other news, rest in peace, Terry McAuliffe's political career. I haven't been following. Do you know what that is?
No, I heard the name. Look it up. See what's on the news.
Yeah, DJ, put an update below there if you want.
No, why don't you just do a news search for Terry McAuliffe, who, I don't know. I mean, he's been around for years. I recognize the name. I don't know anything about him, though.
Hit news. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, well.
All right, there we go.
Anthem for $2. Lost creativity due to school. Eat acid or shrooms. Aren't you leaving out one more thing on that one?
Have you guys ever come up with an idea you wrote down while you're all high? You did. Did it make money?
To be determined.
Oh, all right. You executed on it. I'm very impressed.
It's in the works. Fred for $2. The Chicago women are Shalfa widowed by Vlad sad. I am so happy I don't have to deal with them. Hopefully never again.
When's the last time you went on a date with a girl in Chicago? It had to be like at least 6 months ago.
Had to have been. It was during tax season. Yeah, it was in either February or March because, I mean, I had started seeing somebody at the end of 2020. It was total disaster. I want to say again, never date an actress, guys. I don't care how pretty she is or how cool she is. When she says she's an actress, run. Okay?
You've had an eclectic mess. You had FBI agents, actresses,
cuddlebooks,
trust fund baby spoiled Kuantas.
The gal that owed $100K and IRS levies. That was a fun one.
These are good times.
Problems handling it.
Darn it, I was going to ask you something. Oh, my favorite. Hang on. Let's are you in the chat? Can you go click on the private chat?
Yeah, give me one second.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, I see it. Tall and tan and young.
Talk about that or no?
Yes. Well, I don't know. I can't remember how much I told you about that, but yeah, that's.
Well, here's my favorite, and it is not anything due to the misfortune that happened to one of the. You can't even call it a love interest, but at the ground zero of the disease lockdowns, like you were only allowed to do things online, you developed a coromance. And it's because of where you said where it was. I came up with the term a coromance because you could only date online. And you met this girl. How many hours did she waste of your time, Chad? How many hours?
Good God. So this was 2020. This was sort of like spring through summer of 2020. if we talk about the texting, some of the
All
phone
of it,
calls,
without.
oh man, I might go as high as 100 hours on that.
100 hours.
I'll
Okay.
never get that time back.
You never get that time back. So she really likes you, this and that. She had an unfortunate incident where she needed some surgery around her mouth and face.
Yes, it was actually pretty brutal.
It was pretty brutal. So you were not only there to help her through the disease times, but to help her recover from that. Things go well. You met in person. Did you actually go on a physical date or no?
Several times. Yeah.
All right. And then when you went in for a kiss, she said,
I can't because of my face. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm not playing this.
And then when she was recovered and was able to kiss, what did she do?
She basically, so I was already pulling away at that point, and she was just like, oh, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. I'm just like, she's 10 years younger than me. So let that be a lesson.
There's a show called, once you and your agent in the field down in Texas, once you guys are done watching Black Books, you have to go and watch IT Crowd, which is the next project the same directors worked on, British comedy as well. And there's a scene where this guy gets set up with this girl who has plastic mangled face surgery, and her face is just wrapped up in a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't really want to go out. He's just being friendly, and he drops her off at her house. Just, oh, do you want to come in? No, not really. She just go, well, just take, it starts raining or whatever. So he goes in and he sees that she has all the video game consoles. He's like, oh my God. So, and then he starts thinking like, well, maybe I will date her. I could play all these video games. She says, well, it just isn't working out. And he looks at her, he says, hello, and that's what it reminded me of. It's like, you have a mangled face, lady. You have a mangled freaking face. All right. You got a guy willing to go out with you. He helped you through these hard times. Like, I'm not feeling it. It's like, all right, guys. And I was laughing a lot because it wasn't me. That's why I was laughing a lot. But
you know what the worst part of that? Well, okay. Not the worst.
Aside from the 100 hours of your life you're never getting back.
So the day that thing finally fell apart, and I was kind of just like, I was frustrated, but I got over it quickly. Problem was that happened literally an hour before I was scheduled to go on with Doc and do a whole 3-hour thing. And so throughout the whole thing, I was just kind of like, I was not enthusiastic or anything, and I felt bad. I wasn't doing my usual job because I was just so irritated about what had just happened. And I told Doc that up front, and he's like, oh, don't worry about it. So.
Well, I wish I had written down the date and the time, because it was probably my best achievement in my life. But in the absolute worst time of my life, coincided when I had a radio show. And I remember, like, probably one of the worst days of my life, I had to go live, put it all out of my mind, went live anyway. And not like internet where it's like, it's not really, I mean, like, tens of thousands of people listening, maybe. Went live, pulled it off. I was able to turn it off, turn it back on if I need to. It was a very pat on the back, Herculean effort of self-control. So.
Well, nice. And for what it's worth, Doc said I did a pretty good job, and it's actually up on his site if you want to find it.
Yep. He's coming in on 1,000.
Yeah, you can help
subscribers.
Him past that. Rational Investor for $9.99. Hey, Vlad, I'm looking to get some individual tax experience, but the public company I work for doesn't have opportunities for this. Would volunteering as a tax preparer be a viable way to get some experience? So there are opportunities to do that through the IRS, through their VITA program. I don't know if it's the best way to get experience because, I mean, you want to make sure you're capable of, doing those returns correctly. There's somebody else, it's a fan of yours that I've been corresponding with a little bit. I told them I thought he ought to go through the H&R Block like training program. It doesn't cost a whole lot. And so they'll show you the basics, and it's up to you if you want to work for them or not. I'd probably go with that at this point, honestly.
Hey, speaking of accounting firms, who was Casey something or something Casey, the gal that killed her children?
Casey Anthony.
Oh, it's Casey Anthony. Never mind.
Right?
Well, hang on. There was a CPA firm downstairs. I thought it was Casey Anthony CPAs downtown.
Oh, was it?
I don't know if it is, but it's Casey something. I'm like, ain't that the gal that murdered her kids? I was going to take a picture like I always do of CPAs. Like, who the F are these guys thinking that they're better than Chad Elkins?
Man, she got away with murder.
Yeah, she did. She was pretty. Pretty girls should be able to get away with murder.
Now, what the heck currency?
I don't know what that is. I thought maybe rubles, but I don't know. I've never seen that symbol before.
Ichama, if you're still in the chat, will you let us know what that is? Yes, woke is anti-meritocracy, all about valuing people based on physical characteristics. Yeah, it's about traits you don't have any control
It is
over.
quite literally the opposite of what Martin Luther King wanted. I mean, the direct opposite. And it's just anytime anybody, I don't care who you are, but like if you're interacting with someone, business, religious, professional, romantic, sexual, and they think they got value because of the way they were born, you get the F out because they're evil. They will take advantage of you. They have no core. Think of the Borg. They're going to come after you in some way or another. So, but they're usually incredibly boring people anyway, because they have no life to talk about. So you inevitably want to go out with them anyway after a bit.
See, I'm becoming a little bit more like you in this regard. Like if there's people like this in my life, like clients are one things, whatever. But if it's like, an old friend or a friend of a friend or a former classmate or whatever that is like this, I'm trying to cut all ties. I just don't want to be around people like that.
It's really tragic when you were friends with them and good friends, because they had a core, they had a personality you liked, they had some kind of ethics, or they're crazy, or there was they produced some kind of value, and then they throw that personality away and then fill it with some kind of ideological woke leftist Marxist politic thing. Especially like girls, like, here you got a cute girl in high school and then she goes off to college, comes back after a year. It's like, what happened to my little girl who was sweet and kind and wanted to like major in veterinary science, and now you've switched to political science and you got tattoos, and it's like, what the hell happened? You're on your way to becoming a productive person, somebody of core and value, and now they're gone. Yeah, you got to it's sad. Sometimes you got to get rid of people like that.
I was telling our, friend down in Texas that there's a guy I've known for 23 years now, and he does live in Chicago, and it's like he texts me all the time. I can barely stand to even correspond with him. He has gone so far off the deep end with this stuff. I don't even know who he is. So.
I got a friend. He has a friend. Him and his wife were married for 35 years. And then when all the BLM stuff came out, she read, it wasn't BLM. She read, what the heck was it? White Fragility or Dear White People or something like that. And then she totally went hard left, and we're oppressing the minorities and all this other stuff. And that's what scares me, where it's like, here's a gal you're happily married to, I think, for 35 years, and they just turn on a dime. Like, it's like, you sit down, like, you're not gonna knock this off. I mean, you got to find religion. You go find Christ or Allah or whoever, or you spend time with the grandchildren, but you are not doing this BS. And you're going to knock it off. And if this is the new you, here's the divorce papers. Goodbye. It's just, but that's what scares me.
That last one that Nichama sent, those are actually shekels from Israel.
Oh boy, I love me my blood shekels.
You do love
my
your
people,
shekels.
my people.
Yeah.
It's my folk.
There he is, Mexi Mike for $2.
Mike.
I identify as woke and amazing, so therefore I must be.
Yes. You live your own truth, Mexi Mike. Live your own truth. Did I tell you I'm a 6'7", blue-eyed, blonde-haired Norwegian Swede guy?
Well, we'll treat you that way from
now
on.
That's why I am. Yeah. Dre's got to knock it off with the short jokes. He's got to come up with tall, lanky Scandinavian jokes now. That's what he's got to come up with. Blue-eyed, blonde-haired jokes. Yeah, Olaf Clary, right. Let's
see who is next. Bacon.
Hang on.
Is that who you got next?
I got a lot of regular chat going on there.
Bacon for 223. I identify as a fast, casual dining enthusiast. So you like fast food?
Yeah, I don't blame him.
No,
especially now with the supply chain and none of his generation working, because all work is beneath anyone under 30. That's basically it. I have from a reliable source, though his source may not be reliable, but I trust my source. He wanted to go to a restaurant in Wisconsin somewhere, and they were closed. And you know the reason why?
They couldn't find workers like
They
servers.
written up there, they said, due to basically several other employees work for the National Guard, and the National Guard had to go somewhere in Wisconsin because Wisconsin National Guard is state-based. Some nursing homes in Wisconsin don't have enough people working. And so the National Guard has to go and take care of the nursing home people and wipe asses. Now, I don't know if that's true. Okay. That could have just been the restaurant trying to be dramatic. But if that is true, and anyone within earshot of Wisconsin, if, like now we got the National Guard going to nursing homes, because let's just put it this way, or be honest, rather, wiping asses is beneath most college graduates. It's beneath most Gen Zers and most millennials, because y'all think that it's beneath you. It's not. It's an upgrade from you, because right now your degrees, all you're qualified to do is bitch and whine and ask for other people's money. That's all your liberal arts and social science degrees qualify you to do, which is not work. And it would be a huge step up from being a parasite to an actual productive member of society to wipe people's asses. But just so you know, everyone out there, if this is true, that's all you're qualified to do. Right? That's it, really. That's all you're qualified to do.
It's going to be a problem. These boomers are going to end up in nursing homes, and no one wants to work.
Boomers raise these people. Too bad for them. That's why I got the Smith & Wesson retirement plan. Everyone, they're stark. It's like, oh, really? Who's looking like $1 million right now? I am, because of the Snoopy sweater. That's why. This is Snoopy sweater. My nieces are probably going to love this thing.
So Dre for $2. I might need him to explain this. South Park ruined Indiana Jones for me. Did they make fun of him one time?
Yeah, I think Indiana Jones got graped into the behind, because they're making an editorial about how they were remastering everything. And so they get a little dark on South Park. They get a little disturbed, I'd say. Even it goes into disturbing territory.
I'm behind.
Like the Human Centipede. Do you remember the Human Centipede?
I saw that damn movie.
It's like, okay, guys, there's got to be a line somewhere.
Joe Mercer's Way for £5, British pounds. Knock, knock. Who's there? Cappy. Nah, can't be. Cappy's a minimalist. He'd only knock once.
It's good. That's good. That's not bad. That's like $7, $8 US.
I was going to say, now that is a healthy super chat.
That's a healthy super chat. Speaking of not healthy super chats, here's Dre peeling those $2 bills out of his wallet.
He likes
you get like pliers just to peel that $1 and then peel another one. Make sure you don't get two more.
Well, they're all jokes that are trying to make fun of you. So
here it is.
To Cappy, a 4-door pickup truck is a monster truck.
It's all right. I made $15 off of Dre already, and it's his machine gun super chats.
Correction, we did. No, I'm just kidding. DJ Aftershock for $2. Former governor of Virginia who tried to run again and lost in November. Yeah, I knew that. I knew. I just didn't know if he did something recently. Like, I don't know.
Oh. Wow. There we go.
He's also a Clinton DNC crony and political hat. Yeah, I mean, he sucks, but I mean, I'm sure he'll find something to do. Dre, how many 9s and 10s have you guys gotten with you?
Boy, first? We have to adjust for quality deflation in women. Like a 9 today in women's term. I mean, if you're not fat or overweight, you're already in the top 30% for women. Okay, so but that was not the case back in my time. And again, do we want to do linear or Gaussian? I'm going to do regular Gaussian because that's what we think. 9s and 10s, maybe 5, maybe 6, 5 or 6. I'd have to sit and think, because I did date the hottest girl in the dance scene. And as you would imagine, completely psycho. I mean, mentally ill. So that's 1, 2, 3. Hottest girl I ever dated was in Chicago.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, I'd say, and get with me in sex. Yeah, probably around 6, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there, mid single digits.
God, I don't think I've ever been with a 10. Like, just being totally honest. I think I have had. I would give myself a couple of times with a 9, but I mean,
I don't. Well, yeah, the tens are pretty rare. But by today's standard, you've definitely dated tens. Top 10%, even linear or Gaussian 10. I think you've dated modern day tens.
I mean, yeah, if we're going back all the way to the early 2000s when not everybody looked like a freaking hungry hippo, then yeah, I've done better.
Yeah. I mean, right now, if you get a thin girl, she doesn't even have to be hot face wise, just a thin girl, you're in the top 30%. You got a 7 right off the bat. You got a 7. Yeah.
Fred for $2. Soccer players are lame, always faking industry or injuries. Well, I like bad European soccer teams, so them faking injury is part of the entertainment I like to watch.
Dude, it's as fake as wrestling. I can't, like, one, soccer's already boring. 2, it's for poor people. And 3, hold and roll. And it's like, shut up. Just shut up. Can't stand it. Scrolling. There we go.
Should be EFL Carter.
This is a new person. Never heard of this guy.
Yeah. You guys would do better if you had a 6-pack and spoke Dutch. Is this Jack Napier's alter ego?
Yes, it's Jack Napier. No, it wouldn't, because Jack ain't doing. No, okay, I take that back. Jack is doing very well, relatively speaking. Like, he's doing as well as a man can in all regards, in all aspects of his life. It still ain't worth it. It just isn't worth going to the gym and dieting that much. I'm not to become all dark and everything, but it's like, yeah, when I see women starting to like get 6-packs and nice big old titties and like they got no debt, then I'm gonna put that level of effort in. But yeah, I don't want to do better. I don't know.
Well, when I was down at my Southern Command a couple days ago, I went for a jog and I listened to that podcast that you guys did recently. So interesting.
Which one? Oh, me and Jack?
You and Jack, yeah recent
one. On his show, yeah.
DJ for $5. What killed Terry McAuliffe, quote, I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach at the debate in a charismatic GOP ticket.
Oh, is Terry McAuliffe dead? Did he get killed?
No, he meant like killed him politically. Like he lost that race a few weeks ago. I guess it's been a month ago now, which was not expected. So
hang on. Is he? Oh, that's the former governor
of Virginia.
Well, that was a month ago he ran for.
Yeah, it was about a month ago.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, good. Bye.
Yeah.
See you later.
Where are we at now? Be Strong for $5. I think that white people will eventually have to change their skin color to black, like Martina Big did to protect themselves from discrimination. Can't you just identify as a black person?
I'm moving. I'm going to have investments overseas. Because it's one thing, okay, the black community, they didn't, this dynamic of let's all pile on white people and blame them for everything. They did not design this. I mean, they kind of like it, maybe a lot of them, but they didn't. This is a nationwide thing. All right. There's a lot of virtue signaling going on across all people. And I'm not going to tolerate it. I'm just not, I'll be leaving and I'll have a place. And then I don't care what happens, because I'll be perfectly honest. This country hasn't exactly been fun. Before any of the crazy woke stuff, it wasn't fun before. Corporate America, the school system, all this divorce, like that Waukesha thing. People are asking, oh, what do you think about the thing in Waukesha? I'm like, hey, I hate people in Wisconsin. I went to school with their children. And now their parents, like, I hate those people. Oh, darn. Too bad. So I have no loyalty to this country. So it's kind of like, yeah.
I'm sure you don't want to go this long anyway, but it's still over an hour. 7 p.m. is my cutoff. Like I got to bounce.
7 p.m. All right.
Yeah,
what time is it?
An hour.
You got an hour left?
An hour and 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Let's bang out through the super chats. Everyone hold off on the super chats now, and we'll get to because I did have you on for a thing.
Fred for $2. My high school girlfriend worked for Senator Dick. His name is Dick Durbin.
His name is Dick Durbin.
DNC. Yeah. Sad. Duckworth's worse. Okay. Dung is fun for $5. I have a long story, but I'll make it short. Ooh, sorry, Aaron. Man, everybody's picking on you.
That's all right. You all want to pay $5 to insult me. That's fine. I don't care.
I benefit twice. Dre for $2. Only thing tall about Cappy is his list of complaints.
Get it
Man,
all out of your system, guys. Get
man,
it all out of it.
man.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Haven't had this before. Fred for $2. Is Aldi the cheapest grocery store, or what is? I mean, it's probably the cheapest in our area, Fred.
Yeah, I think that nationwide it is the cheapest grocery store. Aldi's good. You get good soda water there. Not bad at all.
Now this is a great super chat. Scott McKenthan for $20.
You easily. I don't make the six figs. I'm not even in your league. I mean, if we're going to use it technically, like based on people paying me money, an actual financial transaction, yeah, Chad blows me out of the water. Doesn't
Am
even
I
come
actually
close.
producing anything though?
Doesn't matter. No. You're making a mistake. It doesn't matter if you think you're producing anything of value. All that matters is people are willing to pay. And you have provided that person that dollar amount of value. For a perfect example is art. All right. There's this ugly lamp. You think it's the most hideous lamp ever, made by one of these moron art students. Somebody comes in and pays $1 million for it. That is not up to you and me to decide whether or not that was $1 million of genuine actual production. Somebody who had $1 million decided it was worth $1 million. And that is $1 million of GDP. Because the second you say that, now you're starting to tell people what they should and should not value, which is the same argument as you should like fat chicks. And that does not work in the real world. So a perfect example would be drug trade should be included in GDP. You know why? But heroin's horrible for you. That's not your choice. George Floyd liked heroin, okay, or fentanyl. He spent $500 on it or whatever. That's why he needed the extra fake 20. And that was $500 worth of actual genuine transaction and wealth created. So, but so it is not the producers who determine the final value of their product. It is the consumers, and the consumers obviously pay Chad a lot more than me. Of course, you do real more work than I do. So there's certainly that.
This is why I'm an accountant and not an economist. Brandon cried. The reason Wisconsin for $10, the reason Wisconsin retirement homes and hospitals are short of personnel in Wisconsin is because they mandated the jab, and about 40% of the employees told them to F off and quit. Interesting.
Okay, so maybe this is true that the National Guard is going in. But well, they got the weaselest weasel, like the most soy boy governor Evers.
Yeah,
I forget his first name, but he is. You look at you blow him and he'd fall over. Not like blow him, but blow at him that they fall over.
I've missed Scott Walker, even though I don't care about Wisconsin. So, Juan, the Aztec patriarch, for $1.99 at the library enjoying the show.
Is he taking a picture of the homeless people at the library or what? What's he doing at the library?
That's right. He's in one of those cities. Hamed 619. Ooh, what's Saudi Arabia?
Maybe. Yeah, that makes it. Yeah, good guess. All right.
Been enjoying your truthful rants. Great stuff, Cap.
Oh, thanks, Hamed. Where is it? Look up SAR. I'm kind of curious where that is from.
SAR currency is Saudi Riyal or right.
Wow, good. All right, look at you.
Total guess. Fred for $2. Will Pritzker run for president? Could he win? The answer to the second question is no. So the first one's kind of irrelevant. That fat loser is not going to run for president because no one's going to vote for him.
Well, who would he's going to run against? Joe Biden's in better shape than him.
Yeah. Mexi Mike for $5. Cappy the minimalist, aka Aaron the economist, even accounting for quality of gals this day and age. That's so savage, Cappy. Spock would be proud of you.
It's true. The girls of today, as are the boys, by the way, all right, are nowhere near as attractive as they were when they were younger. And when in my time, the girls of that time were nowhere near as attractive as the women back in the 40s and 50s. It just is. I'm sorry. Everyone's getting fat and ugly. This is another reason I want to leave the United States. Another reason I don't go to Walmart that much if I can avoid it. But certainly I'm not going to go to Target. But yeah, it's what do you want me to say? Oh no, everyone looks great. Yeah, Americans they look real great, man. Everyone looking like Cary Grant and Veronica Lake.
Here's a fun game. You know, I've been traveling a bit lately, and I know you travel a bunch too. When you're waiting in that area to board your Spirit Airlines, which I never
Yeah.
fly, but when I'm like bored and want to like shut my brain off, I kind of just look around and try to calculate the percentage of fat people I'm seeing in the airport proportion to everybody else. It sounds boring, but it's actually fun and interesting.
It's depressing after you do that enough times. But I still don't mind Spirit Airlines. It's not as bad as everyone thinks.
To be fair, I've never flown it.
Missing out.
No, yeah, too much. $1 here, $1 there. Noah Acosta for $2. Look, two privileged folk. Give me cash, oppressors.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's just do that. It's your boy. You like his redheaded sister, is it? Channel 1800 Dumb for $5 New Zealand. Shout to Cap and Chad. My sister's name is Erin Chloe. How will you introduce yourselves to others when you start dating?
My name is Aaron Clary, and this is my mistress, Chloe. Aaron Chloe. Where if you're just dating, you're not married. Huh. I always introduce girls I was dating. This is my mistress. You know, it throws people off a little bit, and it's a little sexy. But that's an old hat. That's an old school trick that I had. That
say Aaron Chloe sounds very close
to
Aaron
if we're married, if we're married, we wouldn't be married. That'd be one thing. And for now, I mean, nowadays you don't want the girl taking your name because that's indicative of a marriage, and that would help. You did a marriage-like thing. Like, let's say you go through a wedding ceremony, but you don't sign the marriage license. That is still defined as marriage under some states.
Definitely some states, but
yes,
not Illinois.
Not Illinois. Okay, cool. All right, so that's one of them. But yeah, you don't share last names. You don't share bank accounts. Sorry, there's no like. Well, this is my mistress. That's as high as you could get up in the Cappy world of hierarchy and the ranking as mistress.
Dre for $2. I've never seen Die Hard or Kelly's Heroes. I've also never seen Kelly's Heroes, honestly.
What is wrong with you two people? What?
I didn't grow up in the U.S. That's what's wrong with me.
No, but it's been okay. You came back a couple decades ago, right? I mean, you got the internet, right?
Well, back then, it was Friends and whatever was popular back then.
All right. Look, I'm not going to tell people. We already tried to get one person to watch Die Hard, and he fell asleep first time he watched it.
Was this Marcus?
Marcus Brown, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. We need to get him to watch that. Jay Solar, $5.90 for $2. When was the gold age for the U.S.? The golden age or the gold age?
There'd be several golden ages, I'd imagine, after the British left. After what, 1783?
Maybe then they came like back. The gold rush age, you know?
Not the gold age, that'd be 1849. That was our gold rush age. But the golden age, I'd probably say, after the British, but before 1812. Then there was the Gilded Era. That wasn't all that great. Civil War, that was definitely not that good. Maybe post-Reconstruction period from, like, say, 1880 to 1900, the Wild West era, maybe that was good. And maybe in the 1900s, well, there's the 1909. So after the 1907 recession, from there up to the Roaring 20s was good. Then the Great Recession, no. Certainly the 40s and 50s would have been a golden era. But yeah, I'd say 3 or 4 golden eras in the United States history. But yeah, there were bad times too.
Christopher Anon for $10. If you get sick of the U.S., talk to me. With your YouTube and book income, you can trade your home for a downtown apartment in Moscow, 13% tax as a sole proprietor, and get a 9 girlfriend named Natasha.
I thank you for the emails, Christoph. I have saved them. I may do that all in good time. You got to build the rocket ship first to launch. It's not just like, I go. No, you need to build a vehicle to go. And so we're currently working on that right now.
Would you really want to live in the city again, though?
No. I'd go to probably a southern. I dated a girl from one of the southern provinces of Russia, down by the Black Sea. I think I'd go down there. I'm not against Russia. They just seem to have very strict immigration rules, which I like. Like, hey, you better be Russian here.
Oh, is this another joke? Dre, Cappy has a problem appreciating the little things.
All right. Just another $2. Small things add up. Huh, Dre?
Channel 1800 dumb, $2 New Zealand. Cap, are you and Chad wearing onesies?
No, I have cargo pants on underneath.
Hey, at least I got sweatpants underneath.
Geez, Scott again for
Scott,
$20.
man, you're the man.
Yeah, good thing you waited for Chad to be here, Scott. Yep, couldn't have used that $40. Glad everyone's bringing in the dough now.
I'm just lucky, I guess.
Mhm.
For $20, what happens after Rona, wokeism, tradeism, and general dumbassery?
Well, that all this will continue on until the system collapses, because this is the modern day religion. Everyone is so addicted to their own traits. That's all they got. We're going to have to outstrip our native production ability. We're going to have to produce enough. And more importantly, other foreign countries are going to have to stop printing off more money than we do to finally debunk and dethrone the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. But what I really think is going to happen, we'll just kind of inevitably become a second or third world country, because both the native population won't produce economics good or reproduce. And even if they did reproduce, they'd just be welfare sponges anyway. And we're going to import a bunch of immigrant labor. Or I can't even say that. Not even immigrant labor, just immigrants, because they don't work. Not all, of course. We know Atham and our Latino tradesmen, but they go on the welfare, and then they go and they have more kids than they can afford. And they're not net economic producers, is what I should say. And we'll just, wow, we imported a bunch of people from second and third world countries. Now we are, well, yeah, those are the cultures. The root beer float we're going to have as many Greek alphabet variants so that they can freak out and have control. It's just a general economic collapse or slow economic decay until we're second and third world. And then, good luck. I'll be dead.
Okay, after this one, we're caught up. Fred for $2. What if the Supreme Court overturns Roe versus Wade? Poor Cappy.
Why poor me? What? I don't get it.
Doesn't affect us.
Yeah,
well, I guess it could affect me, but
I guess I don't know. All right, let's get to the request. Do you have it?
I do. I actually have two from you. Which one did you want me to do?
Do the one from the East Indian name guy, because the other guy answered he wanted an email response. He did not want it public. So this guy is and do try to anonymize if you're going to read the request. Just you don't have to mention the state or anything specific.
Sure. All right. Sure. All right. So I'll go ahead and read this then. Hey Cappy, I can use your wisdom to figure out the next step in my career. I'm a remote employee living in Texas. Oh crap, sorry.
That's all right.
General enough. Yeah. Right. Net worth is $700K thanks to the insane stock market. Starting in January 2022, I will reduce my work hours from 40 hours a week to 25 to 30 hours. My goal is to establish residency. Should I say
in a foreign
place? Place. And travel around Eastern Europe and Eurasia without working insane hours. My boss is on board with my travel plans and gave me the choice of employee status, which is $80K salary, no benefits, must have a U.S. address, residency, and pay U.S. taxes. So that means he'd be a W-2.
He's a W-2er.
Yeah, or a business status, which is $76 an hour, resident anywhere, no benefits, no paid time off, must be a U.S. company. I plan to consult tax advisors on tax benefits, such as foreign earned income exclusion, but wanted your no BS take on which option is best and if I'm missing something. As an employee, I feel psychologically incentivized to be ultra efficient and work less so I can go do something else. My tax situation with the W-2 would be simple. When I qualify for the foreign earned income exclusion, I'll get back income tax money at the end of the year, which I believe makes the, quote, business deductions benefit moot. As far as maintaining a U.S. address, I set up a mail forwarding address in the state he lives in, so I don't think it should be an issue. But as a business, I can potentially make a lot more. If inflation picks up in 2022, which is, I think, where we're headed, I think it's already picked up, I can invest more of my income earlier in the year before it loses value. On a personal level, I'd love to distance myself from my employer who's gone full pro-Democrat libtard. However, the tax and hourly work reporting situation gets more complex, and it's possible my employer would breathe down my neck about my work hours. Like, did this report really
Yeah.
take you 2 whole
Yeah.
hours? Yeah. At this point, I'm leaning towards employee status to keep things simple. Do you see it differently? What trade-offs am I not seeing? Who else should I consult with before making a decision? Any advice is welcome.
Okay. So what now? Obviously, you can see why I brought you in because of the tax consequences and ramifications. Because I know nothing about that foreign earned income extension or whatever it is. From a tax perspective, is there a clear path for this guy to choose?
Well, first I want to explain what the foreign earned income exclusion is.
All right.
If you are an American citizen but you live overseas and you're overseas for 11 out of the next 12 months in a year, so permanently,
All
you
right.
have to be there 11 out of 12 months, you qualify for that exclusions, which means you can basically tax free up to around $105,000 of the
All
income
right.
you make, and that's
Okay.
adjusted gross income. So he's right in that it wouldn't really matter. Depending on how much money he makes, it's not like he would have to pay anything in the United States. So the real question is, at least this was my interpretation, he wants to figure out if he would be happier being an employee who draws a W-2 salary or sort of to be an independent contractor, sort of the 1099 master race.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, this is less of a financial and tax question and more in a like, what's your personality like dictated to? Like, what do you think would
Right.
make more sense? This is why I sent you that text the other day. I was like, I don't really know how to answer this for him because
Well, that's fine. I mean, it's not like a lot of these situations, because there's a human element. It's not like you say 76, that's the answer.
yeah,
I think he just wants us to think it through and kind of point some things out. Outside of the tax issue, and it's real conflicting. I can see why he's got a question. So he says the W-2, he's not going to get any benefits.
yeah.
So
Let me
I'm
go
thinking
back and
like,
read that real
yeah, I
quick.
mean, it's where'd it go?
Yeah, I'm trying to find that too. So
My boss is on board. That's like the third paragraph down or so.
no benefits. That kind of blows. Okay.
And if you multiply by 2,000, he's making like a lot of money, a lot more money than what he would be on salary.
Right. So no benefits. I feel psychologically incentivized to be ultra efficient. I mean, I don't think it makes sense for this guy to go through the trouble of like tracking expenses, incorporating. You could set up an S corp if you wanted to, but I mean, that's a lot more work for a guy who probably isn't going to have to claim any of this income anyway, in the United States.
Right. But here's the other thing where I come through or come on is the fact he has no benefits. So let's say he gets his $80,000 a year salary, right? No benefits. Well, that's half the reason you get, more than half the reason you become a W-2 employee is because of health insurance.
You're supposed to get it. Yeah.
Right. So, but he says no benefits. It's like, okay, you don't even get a match. So when you take $76 an hour times 2,000, that's $152,000 of self-employment income, and you're going to have to pay your health insurance anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So assuming that you can bill out full-time work $2,000 a year, I would be going the self-employment route, because that's such a difference between the $80,000 salary and then your effective salary at $76 an hour. I'm kind of leaning towards that, because that's a huge difference. That's almost twice the amount of what you'd be making anyway. Then on top of it, you set up a company. Then you can use that company to go get other sources of income and diversify your income. And then should you ever come back to the United States, then you have the benefit of getting your tax deduction. Now, you said it was $105,000 limit.
Yeah, that's about what it is. It used to be 100K. Now it's gone up a bit. Let me get the
Okay.
exact number.
So he at $152,000 a year in gross income or gross revenue, he is going to need to have some tax deductions. So the tax deductions would come in helpful. So he's got to travel, set up a business office.
It's about 109,000 now.
Okay,
so
all right.
About that. Yeah.
All right. So
yeah.
it's significantly above. He needs to whittle it down by 41,000 or 43,000. Sorry, 43,000.
From a pure, like, finance perspective, yeah, you do want to be the 1099 because yeah, you're going to have some income left over if you don't get down to 109, and it's far likelier that you'll do that, if you write off expenses.
Right. And also, the place he wants to live is not cheap. The next research you got to do, buddy, is figure out what rent is in the place you're moving and if 80 grand is going to cut it. Cause I don't think 80 grand is going to cut it. So I think you're almost going to have to go get that 152,000, assuming that it is full-time work. And then the other thing, when you're talking about, this is nothing to do with finances, but they're going Democrat woke, full employer who's gone full pro Democrat libtard. Yeah, that you're a 1099er. You're not going into the office. Yeah, I would definitely be independent of this firm if they're going to get political. Like, not my boss is a Democrat. That's different than, okay, the culture is Democrat or socialist, or it's like, okay, that shouldn't be it. That should not be it. Which either makes the argument to diversify your income more so, So I'm leaning. I can't tell him what to do. I mean, thank God you provide the tax insight and input, but just me personally looking at the numbers and the finances and then the office politics, I'd be more inclined. And another thing, he's single. Hang on, let me.
Yeah, I'm rereading it too. Like there's kind of a bunch here. So he's going to reduce his work hours from 40 to 25 to 30.
Yeah.
And that's whether he's, W-2 or salaried or a 1099.
Hang on. Boo.
Yeah, you sure can write off a lot.
Yeah. And I don't have any other information, but I'm going to assume he doesn't have kids or a wife, so he can do this and travel. Dude, I think your concern is like, oh, what if he doesn't let me bill out? Like, it didn't take you 2 hours to do that report. Right. You probably don't need the money. That's the other thing. If you're getting paid $76 an hour, you can live a very nice Matt Forney lifestyle in second and third world Central European countries. I mean, you can hang out in Albania or wherever the heck he was, kind of chill out. So I would not worry about the hours. I think you're going to have enough. I think you will be able to bill out at that much. But like anything else, like you really do have to diversify your income. Like, let's say you did go W-2 employment. I'd still recommend you set up a business on the side, because if the company's going woke, you don't know when you're going to have your job next. They're like, oh, we heard that you like Brendan Ike. Oh, you donated money to whatever, some relatively innocuous conservative fund. And now you're out of a job. So
that's actually a good point, that, you would be wise to have multiple income sources. Yeah. So if you're going to have to set up a company anyway, whether it's S Corp or just regular sole proprietorship, I think maybe you would do better as a 1099 contractor. You can find the right tax advisor and they'll explain to you what the write-offs are. And, if you get them down low enough, you're probably not paying any U.S. taxes.
Yeah. So, well, and the other thing was, like, he's not getting health insurance. It's like, well, screw that. Yeah. I mean, like no. Then why? There's really no reason to be an employee then. So I'd be the hired gun. That's why I would. But you're gonna have to figure that out for yourself. But I'd come down hired gun.
What's a little bit bizarre is that usually companies are incentivized to like push people to be contractors, because then they don't have to deal with, the self-employment
payroll
taxes.
And all
the unemployment insurance.
Right.
So it's kind of an odd set of decisions in the first place, but maybe just going and working abroad.
Well, you know why that company's making a dumb decision like that?
Why?
Because they're full of Democrats. They don't know anything.
Oh, that's right. He did say
I have to poor people. What about the bottom line? Capital are not greedy capitalist pigs. Actually, yes, you are. And if you don't have profit, you don't have a business, and then everyone's out of the job. But what do I know with my facts about economics and how businesses and jobs are formed? So, all right, you ready to go bang out some more super chats?
Yeah. So you think we answered okay? He's good to go?
Yeah, no, I think we did. He wanted to go consult. Look, we already brought you in here. All right, I gotta shell out half my shekels to you for this, and half the payment that he paid me.
You don't have to. I'll tell you what. Merry Christmas, because I already got you a gift today. You don't have to pay me for that portion of this, just the super chats.
Just the super chat. Okay. Yeah. So like the other $800 as opposed to the $30. Okay. Thanks, chat.
Shut up and drink your Rooster Booster Light.
I'm out, but I got more.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I
Oh,
lost.
sorry, Lance. Get Lance.
Oh, Lance. So I've worked Lance. I've been helping Lance out some for $10. Vlad Elkums all the way. Thank you, Lance. It's good to shoot me an email with an update, man. Christopher Anon, $10. Crimea is good, cheaper. A good Russian attorney can handle a business residency for about $1,500. Learn, is it Cyrillic or Cyrillic?
Yep.
Alphabet, mandatory, and learn a little Russian. Yes, you need to wind upstairs first.
Wind upstairs. I don't know.
I don't know. Christopher Anon for $2. Oh, okay. Yeah, you need to wind up your affairs, not stairs. Yeah.
Okay.
Lance for $10. Man, more Vlad and less.
Fine. That's fine. I got $5 out of that, and after Google's take, it's $3. $3. Yep. So everybody loves. See, everybody wants Chad as a son. No one wants Cappy. I'm the Eddie Haskell. You're the Beeve.
Oh. Well, my parents think you'd be a fantastic son. David McGlashan for $7.99 Australian, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Good morning from Oz.
Well, man, look at it. He's got 4 kids. Look at how many kids he's got. Man, goodness. Oh, they're a lot. Those are all fun ages. They believe anything you say. Everything's new and exciting. Yeah, that's that's the good times. Those are the good times.
Lance, you are too generous, buddy. $10. Vlad and or Cappy, do you think our country will be transformed into all Asian as Indians and Chinese take over our IT infrastructure industry?
No, we're going to become Brazil. It'll be a Mod Podge of everybody. I think it will vary in more ways than one, not just culturally and ethnically speaking. It will be a solid second world nation. And sadly, I think it'll probably even be worse than Brazil in one way. Although I don't know much about Brazilian culture, I don't think the Brazilians are like, oh, the Latinos and all the Germans and all the another ethnic of the Caribbean former slave colony people. I don't think they're all at each other's throats. I think there's like a little bit more cemented culture down here. Here, everyone's going to be jerking off themselves because of their race or their background, how they were born. They're not going to have any pride in being American. They're going to, like the Brazilians, I think, have pride in being Brazil or Brazilian.
Yeah.
But no, not the Asians and the Indians do not have, and there's not the numbers. I mean, they're a segment, but there's not going to be any dominant group. There will not be 8. It will be like a fifth, a fifth, a fifth, a fifth.
Yeah. Alan Beeblebox for $10. I have people pitching to me to invest in condos or condo hotels in Batumi, Cyprus, Dubai, etc. Are these good ideas, or should I just instead throw my money at my local Kit Kat club dancers?
I'd say the Kit Kat club dancers. You got to go there. You got to get a lawyer. You got to figure out what your ownership rights are. But yeah, I mean, condos clear across the planet? No, doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good. Like if you move there and live there, sure. Yeah, get a condo if you want. But I think we're caught up. No. Scott again. Thanks, Scott.
Scott, you guys are awesome. $20. Sticking it to Aaron. Vlad, tell us about your most intense T-chart. Does he maybe mean, do you know what that is? T-chart? I thought maybe he meant to say tax client or
T-chart?
T-chart. I'll Google it. I don't
like testosterone chart?
Yeah, T-charts are a type of chart, a graphic organizer in which a student lists and examines 2 facets of a topic. Scott, if you're still in there, you don't have to do another super chat. Just give us a little bit of clarification on that, and I'll look for it.
What time is it? 1:48. I got to just mark down when we started doing that for the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fred for $2. If Vlad left accounting, what would he do instead? I would, I'd start a blog, and then I'd write some self-published books, put them on Amazon.
One can hope.
And then I would continue my channel, and I would grow it by just ranting every day for maybe 20 to 30 minutes per video, sometimes.
Would you invite a friend on so that he could get half your income, even though he is a mere fraction as wealthy as you? I mean, would you invite your friend on to take half your money?
Oh, I would let Atham come on anytime.
Aha! Wow! Wow! Okay, everybody pile on.
But
Holy
let me
goodness.
finish. I would then construct my own house, and
Mhm.
then instead of finding good contractors who really don't exist, I would do half of the work myself just because I can't even.
Right, right. And you know it gets done. Gets done. All right, last one. Then we're gonna get going because I gotta go. You gotta go. Everyone's gotta
Yeah,
go.
I got it. Fred for $2. Vlad seems like too much of a nice guy for all that, probably.
Yeah, yeah. I still like the idea of you and your father. You know, not all shows have to be cursing and swearing and anger. Sometimes it could just be your nice old grandfatherly father, you know, telling you about, you know, 1970s tax stories. Let me tell you about the great balancing, you know, I did back in 1972. And it was a
So,
farmer in Texas or something. Huh?
you remember how Scott had that question about T charts?
Yeah.
He
Do you see
was,
it?
he clarified here. He meant, the standard accounting T where you do the debits and credits on
Yeah.
each side. I wasn't sure what he meant by that.
Huh.
I mean, that's a really hard question to
Yes.
answer. I guess, when you're doing this, some work for the hedge fund guys I used to do. Yeah, that was a little intense because it was a lot of money.
No. All
So,
right, Osama. He wants to know for 10. Go ahead, Osama. Well, he's a regular guy, so we'll do 10 for. Then we'll get going.
okay.
So got that. I think we're all caught up until Osama comes in. Now
Yeah.
watch. It's going to be an insult. It's going to be some short joke. See, that's what it's going to. I'll stuck around for Osama to give me a short joke or something like that.
What do you
Can
got
we at
weekend
least get a
plans?
like an Irish joke or a Jewish joke for me here? Can we pick on other traits? Maybe potentially a Scandinavian joke.
Oh, they've done the height jokes. Well, while we're waiting, you got any
Hmm.
fun plans for the weekend or just?
I'm gonna go down to the cigar lounge and swipe out my blue cigar bands for red ones because I have a surplus of blue cigar bands, so maybe they have some. I have a lot of interviews and individual consulting to do tomorrow and the day after. I might do a Rule Zero tomorrow. I haven't heard from the guys. It's just a lot of work. I'd like to hit the gym. I did one weight or one muscle set today. Do a different muscle set. I'd like to shoot the guns, but it's gonna be cold. I don't know. It's just work. It's kind of like being in the Antarctic. All you do is work because there's not a lot of culture down here to go hang out with.
Well, hopefully you can eventually make your way to Southern Command to get away from that weather.
I will. And then it's winterizing it. It's basically winterizing in the house. So when I leave, the great one doesn't have to do too much. But yeah, there's not going to be a lot of. It's just work. That's all it is. It sucked.
Yeah.
I don't really tell you. It just sucked for the last 9 months.
All right, competent man for $2. Vlad, you got any green bar paper? What's that?
You're looking at, I don't know. It's an accounting question.
I don't know what that is. Christopher Anon, $2. Generic stupid short joke. Yeah, let's get to the point like that. I like that.
Yeah, stupid short joke. Yes, that's good.
I don't.
All right, I
see
don't think
Osama
Osama's
in
coming.
here.
Osama's not in. That's all right. He'll come around
Yeah.
some other time later. So, all right, that's it. Questions, answers. AssholeConsulting.com. Thank you for coming in, Chad.
Yep.
In a couple days, it'll tell me how much was super chatted, and then I'll give you your super chats,
no
give you
rush.
your blood shekels, and that's about it. Take us out appropriately.
Toodles.